All right, so this is going to be a short video. Um, so this is section 4.2. We're going to talk about degrees in radians. Today let's talk about degrees in DMS. We'll talk about what that means soon. But yeah, so here, this is our typical angle, and angles have two sides to them. We have an initial side, which is where you want to imagine where the other side is coming from. So imagine you have this line right here. Okay, this is our initial site. And then you have this green side that's coming out of it. Let's see if I can grab that. I can't. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. So imagine the blue one is the initial side, and then the terminal side is the one that's moving. Okay. So that's the one that's determining how big the angle is going to be. All right. So the green side is the terminal side, okay, the moving side basically, and the initial side where it originated from is the initial side. All right, and then our vertex is the pointy part, okay, the pointy part of the angle. All right, now in standard position, this is going to be on a coordinate plane. Notice that the initial side is on the uh, x-axis, the positive x-axis. Okay, that's on the positive x-axis. And terminal side, we can calculate or measure the angles there, and we'll see this a lot. Okay, all right, so that's that. Let me put this on the notes. But I should also mention that the for standard position, the vertex is on the origin. Vertex is on the origin. All right, and it says here the measure of an angle describes the amount and direction of rotation necessary to move from the initial side to the terminal side. So I showed that before when I was moving the green side, the terminal side. The positive angle is generated by a counter. Oh, I shouldn't have erased it. Let me bring it back. There you go. Angle, come back. There you go. So positive angle is when the angle moves counterclockwise. Okay. So opposite direction of the way a clock would move. This is a positive direction, a positive angle, counterclockwise. No, the negative angle is when it's moving clockwise. All right. So, and we're going to talk about this later, but this angle over here, there's going to be two sides to it. So it can be the positive side, which is could be like 50 degrees. But if you went the other way around, the negative side, this would be negative 310 degrees. All right, and we'll talk about that later. And notice what they would add up to if this was a positive 310. Okay. All right. So clockwise is negative, counterclockwise is positive. So that's that. Let me put this on the notes. All right. And this is a pretty good one to know. This is the most common angular unit of measure is the degree, okay, which is equivalent to 1 over 360. So of a full rotation. So a full rotation, so a full circle, we know from geometry is a 360 degrees, right? So 180 degrees is going to be 1/2 of the rotation, and 1/4 of the rotation is going to be 90 degrees. All right. So yeah, and we'll talk more about the circle later, but these are common angles to know. 30 degree, 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, 120, 135, 150, 180, 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, and 330, and then finally back to 360. All right. So notice that we're adding 30, and then added 15, and then added 15, and then added 30, added 15, added 15, added 30. So you're just repeating that process. Okay. And we're going to talk about a unit circle in the future. So coming up. And yeah, we'll get more familiar with these numbers. Okay. Now, I was talking about DMS. So DMS is degree, minute, seconds. So degree measures can also be expressed using a decimal degree form or a degree minute second form, where each degree is subdivided into 60 minutes and each minute is subdivided into 60 seconds. Okay, so you'll probably see these like longitude, latitude, or uh, in the movies you'll see like when people are on ships, they use these DMS. Yeah, just note this means minutes and 2 means seconds. Okay, so it's like a feet in inches, kind of. All right, this on the notes, and we'll do some problems. I didn't want to spend too much time on this because you don't really need this. This stuff is you don't really see it too much. Okay, but if you do, it's good to know. Okay, so we'll do one where we have to convert. So these are degrees to DMS, and these over here are from DMS to degrees. All right, so let's do one of each. Okay, if you want to try one, feel free to. All right, I'll do number 2. All right, so this is going to be equal to, so we want to take the whole number part, that 58, and then we want to add that to the decimal 0.244 degrees, okay? And we're going to multiply that by 60 minutes over 1 degree. So 1 degree is the same as, is equivalent to 60 minutes, okay? So if we do that, we're going to use our calculator. So basically just do 0.244 times 60. And that will give us so the 58 degrees stays the same. That gives us 14.64. All right, minutes. All right, but we don't want that decimal there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do 58 degrees plus 14 minutes plus 0.64 and the same thing. That's it. Times 60, this time seconds, so 2. So it's like a quote over 1 minute. Oh, this should be a minute here. All right. And then we calculate that. So 58 doesn't change. The 14 minutes doesn't change. So 0.64 times 60 is 38.4. And we'll just leave it like that. Okay, we don't have to, because it's like a 0.4, we just want to drop that. All right, seconds. So we just round it. 48 degrees, 14 minutes, and 38 seconds. And that's it. Just multiplying the decimals by 60 each time. Okay, so try that with number 1. Now let's look at it backwards. Okay, so if you want, try number 5. And I'll do number 6. So here we have the DMS. And I want to switch it to degrees. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 126. That one stays the same. Plus, and we're going to take the 6 minutes and we're going to multiply it by the reciprocal of what we did before. I'm going to make it the same color. That's why I color coordinated it. Not 60 minutes over 1 degree. It's going to be 1 degree over 60 minutes because we're changing it to degrees. That's why we want the degrees on top this time. All right. Plus, and this time we can do it all together. We're going to have that 34 seconds times. Now this is the tricky part. You would think it's going to be 60 seconds over 1 minute, but then notice that we don't want to change it to minutes. We want to change it to uh, 2 degrees. So we're going to basically do 1 minute over 60 seconds times 1 degree over 60 minutes. And that's going to give us, so cancels, and we're left with 1 degree over, then 60 times 60 is 3,600 minutes. Okay, so this is where this is coming from. Let's get rid of that. Looks like an X. I didn't want it to look like an X. I'm just crossing it out. Okay, so that's where this is coming from. So it's not going to be 1 over 360 is going to be 1. It's not going to be 1 over 60. It's going to be 1 over 3600. 1 over 3600 minutes. Oh, sorry, seconds. And then you just use your calculator. So 126 doesn't change. And 6 times 1 over 60, or 6 divided by 60. Okay, so 6 times 1 over 60, or just 6 divided by 60. Same thing. That's going to give us 0.1. So plus 0.1. And for the seconds, that it's going to give us 34 divided by 3,600. 0.0094. But it says round to the nearest thousandth. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So 9. So the next number is 4, so we don't have to round up. We just keep it like that. And there you go. And then you just add those all together. You get 126.109 degrees. Ta-da! That's it.